Welcome back. You're watching The Full View. Thank you very much for staying with us. Now, SAA was due to brief Parliament's Standing Committee on Public Accounts, SCOPA, on their failure to submit annual reports for the second time. Well, that was supposed to happen today. It was cancelled by SAA due to outstanding information it says it had to put together before appearing. Now, Bulelani Phillip is joined by the SCOPA Chair Mkhuleko Hlengwa live for us now from our parliamentary studios. A very good evening to you, Bulelani. Talk to us there with the SCOPA Chair about exactly what's to happen next. I understand possible legal action.
Well, good evening to you, Criselda, to the viewers. Of course, this was a much anticipated meeting, but at the 11th hour, the SAA Board of Directors and Executives have pulled out, saying that they are not able to come and attend this meeting. We'll explore that in a moment with the SCOPA Chair Mkhuleko Hlengwa, just to get the reasons behind this cancellation of this meeting. Mr. Hlengwa, thank you so much once again for joining us. The reasons that have been advanced by SAA is the non-availability of the board. What are some of the intricate reasons that they've given? Non-availability is a very broad term, of course, but what are the reasons why they can't attend?
Well, there's two issues. The main one is that we met with SAA on the 13th of November on the issue of the non-submission of their financial statements, which has not happened now for 2 financial years. On that meeting, we decided together with SAA that we would set into motion a roadmap which would lead to the submission of these annual financials, because the AG has also been unable to complete the audit processes. And so to do that, certain information was required by the committee last week on the 20th, which would have then formed the basis of the discussion. That information was not forthcoming. We did not receive it. So we already were in a technical problem in terms of how do we proceed. But Parliamentary Legal Services, of course, has already done a lot of work for us and has given us the legal nuances upon which we as Parliament can actually proceed with the matter. The board then in the letter indicates that they are dealing with the issues of the strike and the consequences and the complexities which have arisen out of the strike action and the agreements and arrangements that they have reached. And therefore, on that basis, they of course will not be able to be in our meeting today, which would supposed to be starting as we are seated here now. And of course, they then asked for 10 days and after from today, and then would be ready after, of course, I imagine, having sorted out their issues. Well, as a committee, we have decided that we want information next week, Tuesday.
So are you going to be subpoenaing the board?
No, we are going to SAA next week, Thursday. We have a special sitting of the committee. I briefed the committee on the correspondence I'd received, and the committee felt that we should actually go to SAA so that we can actually get to the root cause of this. I think, Bulelani, it's important that we clarify why this issue is important. Submission is a PFMA requirement, and SAA must subject itself to the due processes of the law, including but not limited to the PFMA. If we allow SAA to become a runaway train of non-submission, we set into motion a very dangerous precedent. So we need to stop this dead in its tracks, and SAA must conduct its businesses and manage its affairs in such a way that it never finds itself in this position again and never finds itself putting Parliament in this position again. Therefore, the submission of next week Tuesday is not negotiable, and the meeting of next week Thursday is not negotiable. We're not taking any reasons, not taking any excuses, not entertaining any requests. The meeting for next week Thursday stands, and the committee was unanimous in its agreement today that we should actually physically put boots on the ground now insofar as this oversight is concerned. Moreover, the committee has mandated me to begin discussions with the Minister of Public Enterprises as the political head responsible for this entity, and I will be making contact with the Minister so that our processes actually move. In the meeting, we are expecting the Department of Public Enterprise, National Treasury, and the Auditor General, so that when we interact with the SAA board, we do so with all the relevant stakeholders so that we bring this matter to a logical conclusion.
Now, you've sought legal opinion from Parliament around this matter of SAA board not attending. What does it say?
Well, amongst other things, the SAA cited the Companies Act. Parliament tells us that the Companies Act is subservient to the PFMA, so we are in the right. And whilst there are provisions, of course, for non-submission or delayed submission, what we are saying is, as a matter of principle and as a matter of oversight and accountability, is that you cannot have a situation of non-submission of 2 years. It's unprecedented and we should not allow it. So even whatever the law might have said anywhere else, we would have still forged ahead as a committee with enforcing it. But we are now emboldened, of course, by the legal opinion and advice that we have received, because it confirms the outlook that we had. We are not ignorant to the problems of SAA, but at the same time, SAA cannot be ignorant to process and the law and parliamentary directives. The non-submission of information last week is certainly not acceptable, and we are looking into the matters of today, as a committee as well, so that we may, at the necessary point, effect the necessary consequence management.
Talking about consequences now, the CFO of SAA, Mr. Dion Fredericks, 2 weeks ago said that if they do table these financials and they find that they are a disclaimer, that could have a knock-on and trigger other consequences, such as they would have to immediately pay about 540 million in jet fuel costs, which will probably lead to the airline grounding. What's your thought on that?
SAA would not be finding itself in this position to begin with if they'd managed their affairs properly. And we are not going to be party to the further non-compliance which SAA has subjected itself to. Ours is to clear the woods for accountability. Ours is to rid this country of non-compliance. It's a basic prescript of the PFMA. Like I'm saying, we are not ignorant to the problems at SAA, and that's why we are saying, look, let's devise a process that is going to assist you. Let's take a situation where SAA is being given a bailout, right? That special appropriation needs to come to Parliament. So it is advisable for SAA to cooperate with all the parliamentary processes so that we can help them. So the bottom line for us is that the issues of bailouts, the issues of policy and so on reside with the Portfolio Committee and the Standing Committee on Appropriations and Finance. Ours here is to clear the woods, to make sure that accountability and oversight is done, and that SAA does not self-regulate. They cannot self-determine when they will and will not submit, because then everybody will do that. The PFMA is very clear, and so our flexibility, which we have exercised in that last meeting, is turning towards rigidity if SAA conducts itself on this basis. So I would want to believe that it is in the collective interest of SAA to comply with the determination that the committee made today, and that we receive this information on Tuesday, and that when the committee arrives at SAA on Thursday, we are able to have a meaningful and substantive discussion so that we can come to concrete decisions which will lead to submission, because we can't have a bailout in a vacuum. We can't have oversight in a vacuum. We need to know how the public funds are being spent at SAA. And so we are saying in the interactions we'll have with the minister is to actually also deal with those things. So from our side, we are fully committed to cooperation, and I'm calling and expecting, in fact demanding of SAA to be cooperative with our processes as well.
Mr. Mkhuleko Hlengwa, SCOPA Chair, thank you so much for your time and all the best in your deliberations with SAA. Of course, we're going to leave it at that. Criselda, it's back to you guys in studio.